From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big Tuesday morning here on LALATE with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this fourth stimulus check update, we'll be going over the monthly stimulus check the Democrats want you to have, the president wants you to have. We'll be going over the breaking news about this and all the details you need to know about this monthly fourth stimulus check. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus. It has a lot of breaking news this Tuesday morning. I'm really excited for you. And all the breaking news is unfolding, including a fifth stimulus check. And then we'll be turning to the thousands of dollars of money you can get right now. And viewers are killing it. It's your opportunity to get that money right now as well. It's a big morning. It's a big Tuesday morning. I got my blue. You got your blue. We got blue on the set. Let's get to it. The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. I'm here. You're here. And this is Mornings LALATE. How's your Tuesday going, and how is the weather where you are? It's live here in Santa Monica, California. The sun is coming in. It was a little bit warmer about half an hour ago. It's settled down. It's supposed to be blistering hot, but so far it's been wonderful. Just a lot of sun, an enormous amount of sun. So tell me where you're tuning in from, and how's the weather where you are if you're watching the show live. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check the Democrats want you to have in the fourth stimulus package, all the details and the breaking news that's happening today. And it's wonderful. Then the second half of this video, we'll be going over fifth stimulus. And the Federal Reserve chairman is testifying today. I'll be going over his testimony and what you should anticipate after the producer price index number was released this morning. It's all wonderful news as well. And then we turn to the thousands of dollars of money that you can get, and viewers continue to kill it. It's your opportunity today, and I'm going to show you how to get that money. And this is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. I'm next back with you on Mornings Crypto at 9:30, followed by noontime at 11 noon, live on air, both shows. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button. I want you part of this family. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Every like helps, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that monthly stimulus check from the Democrats in both the House and the Senate, starting right now. Slightly different approaches, and we're going to analyze it starting this very moment. The House bill provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check from July to December. The monthly payouts differ. House bill, $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000. Senate proposal, unknown, but word on the street, the Senate Democrats want you to have this. Oh boy, yes. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 a person. If you're watching this show live shortly after 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, or watching it taped later in the day, jump into the live chat or in the comments on this video and get ready to vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. Legislators may consider the pandemic over, however, for the House bill. If that's the case, the House bill would be reduced to 12 months of stimulus checks, which would be $13,000 under the House bill, compared to the Senate proposal, which is 6 months, at a lot different amount of money. Let's look at that right now. If it was reduced to 12 checks, that would be $13,000 compared to this for the senators. Yes, over 6 months. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. So jump into the live chat right now. Which one do you like? Senate or House? Senate or House? Tell me which one you like, and tell me where you're watching from and how's the weather. Let's go over everything you need to know about this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 starting right now. Who gets it? The Democrats want everyone who got a third stimulus check to get a fourth stimulus check. Yes. So if you're a single individual who makes $75,000 or less, the Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. If you're a married couple who makes $150,000 or less, the Democrats would give you 2 times that fourth stimulus check. If you're a family of four, household of four, the Democrats would give you that fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, the fourth stimulus check would be coming to you from the Democrats. Yes, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check. So it's not a waivable check. It's a monthly check. It's not waivable. So don't wave at the check. It won't wave back at you, and you will think it's such a rude check. Hi, check. It didn't wave back at me. You're so rude. It's not a waivable check. The fourth stimulus check from the Democrats would be the same amount for adult dependents and minor dependents as well. And when would they be calling this to a final vote? By July 4th. And when would the first check go out? In the month of July, for the month of July, the Democrats represent. In the month of August, for the month of August. And there you go. That is the first of your three parts of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 in this video. Wave goodbye to that part. Coming up in the second half, I'll be going over the breaking news that's happening today about that fourth stimulus check. It is wonderful. But we'll also be getting a preview starting right now at the second half of this video. And fifth stimulus. Yes, fifth stimulus will have another stimulus check. And today, Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, is testifying about something that impacts your fifth stimulus. This morning, a new economic data was released that impacts your fourth stimulus. It's all great news. That's coming up in the second half of this video, so stay with me. But now it's time to get some money. Time to get some money. You have been killing it, whether it's $100 or $100,000. Jump in the live chat or in the comments, whatever you've gotten from this channel, because it inspires someone else. This channel, if you're new to Finding LALATE, is about getting people money, not about tracking checks. This is not the stimulus psychic network. I'm not a psychic, and I'm not doing psychic predictions about stimulus checks. Rather, I'm getting people money. And it's important for you to get that pen and paper ready, or Crayola crown, as long as it matches my Crayola blue shirt, because we got a lot of money for you starting right now. Stay with me to the very end. We're starting with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance. Here we go. We're going to go over a series of different places to get that money. Each will have different eligibility. So if one says no, don't worry, reach out to the next. They will have a yes. And got that pen ready, or Crayola crown? Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority. Your county hall, your county housing authority. Your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. Or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't use words they don't know, like stimulus. They don't know that word. Or Mitch's Lobster Bake. They don't know that. Oh, sir, that's down the road. Yeah, don't say Mitch's Lobster Bake. Sorry, you have the wrong number. Don't use those words. They won't know what it is. So how much can you get for this? About $5,000 for rent. About 4 to 6 months of rent. About $5,000. Tim and Linda got it. Other viewers got it overnight. Congratulations to them. It's your opportunity. But the next pot of the money, one viewer got $7,000 for this last week. Another viewer got, I think it's about $5,000 from it 2 days yesterday. Glenn got it for her son, her mom, and herself. Gail got it. It's wonderful. And what is it? It's SNAP. It's money for food. Where do you get it? Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture. How much money is it? It's about $16,000 for a family of four in Hawaii. Why so much? Because of two wonderful executive orders. One from Biden and one from Trump that raised your benefits up 15% between now and December automatically from the federal government. So go get it. $16,000 for SNAP for a family of four in Hawaii, approximately. $5,000 for rent, approximately. We are killing it, and we're only 9 minutes of this video. Well, I got more money for you right now, and it is wonderful. It's about $5,000. One viewer got this. What is it? It's money back from your states. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance due to computer error. Not your computer, their computer. And now the federal government said, no, it was not your fault that they had Windows 98. Or we're using a K Pro from 1982. Yeah, it's not your fault. The federal government said, no, you should have been able to keep the money. And so now the federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you and upgrade their computer systems. And so now that money is coming back to you. One viewer got $5,000 from it. When you're going to get, reach out to your state for routing times. How? On the account you have on file. The next pot of the money is wonderful. And Cod got it, Margaret got it, 2 viewers overnight got it. If you got it as well, jump into the live chat, because every time someone gets some of these monies, it inspires me. It inspires other people. And what is it? It is money back from IRS for that 2020 tax return. Let's go over how much, when you're going to get, the routing times, and how to track it. Yeah, so the first pot of money is the calculation. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance and your total tax bill for the 2020 return to IRS was $5,000, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment assistance. You're getting back $4,000. Congratulations. When? The month of June. How? Either direct deposit or in the mail, depending on what you had on that 2020 return. Can you track it? Yes, 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, go in and do a transcript search. And that transcript search will reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the refund check you're getting. Is there anything better than that? There is, and it's the second of our 3 parts update of your 4th stimulus check update of 2021. Starting right now. Boy, it's an exciting week as we're currently underway in the 4th stimulus package with the reconciliation process. Second, we've learned that they're marking up the bill, presumably the substantive bill. Third, the Democrats are all aligned, not maligned, to pass 4th stimulus, including Joe Manchin. Senators, House, and the President, they're all talking about it, and the print media as well. Finally, they're going to get this all done by July 4th. And most importantly, Biden did it. The President of the United States has now signed an ancillary legislation for 4th stimulus that anchors 4th stimulus to the finish line and removes provisions no longer needed from the 4th stimulus that are now covered by that international treaty. I have all that wonderful news coming up right now. It started on the Friday before Memorial Day weekend when Leader Schumer confirmed not 1 but 3 of the details I've been telling you on this channel. Number 1, the reconciliation process was already underway. Number 2, the reconciliation process will end by July 4th with a final vote. And number 3, on July 4th, no later than July 4th, they will pass the reconciliation process. Well, how did we get to that point? We got to that point from Jalopal, that House bill author, who had written Schumer a letter saying, call the vote on the recon, Chuck. Well, he did. He started the recon voting process. But what did Jalopal's letter get? It got the support of 12 House Democrats. Those 12 House Democrats are among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter a week earlier saying, when there's a 4th stimulus package under the works, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in there. Oh, my goodness. Can we get better than that? We can. When about 7 days ago, 7 House Democrats wrote the president directly a letter saying, we're going to be putting those monthly stimulus checks into the 4th stimulus package. Oh my goodness, well, who are these people to say that? They're on the House subcommittee that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks. Really? Did they write the first stimulus check? They did. Did they write the second stimulus check? They did. Did they write the third? They did. And now they're writing the 4th? They claim they are. And what else? Are they writing the 5th? They claim they are as well. They claim they're writing the 5th stimulus check as well. And that's coming up in the second half of this video. OMG, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can. Biden did it. On this weekend, the president anchored 4th stimulus close to the finish line by signing an international treaty that removes provisions no longer needed in 4th stimulus. Let me explain how this happened and what it means. Over our recent days, I've been telling you something happened on a Tuesday with the president. It was very complicated, and I needed to slow it down. So let me slow it down once again, to show how we got to where we are today. 4th stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. That's the taxes on corporations every year. Easy. The president had said at the time he was worried that if he raises the U.S. corporate tax rate, that U.S. corporations may move operations overseas to get a lower corporate tax rate in another country. Well, he had an idea, and he reached out to the G7 countries to say, let's raise the global minimum corporate tax rate. They tentatively said yes. Good. To which the president reached back to his staff that recent Tuesday ago and said, after 4th stimulus is passed, like in October, November, December, let's go back and get those G7 countries to sign on the dotted line and raise the global minimum corporate tax rate. And if they do, then we can remove certain provisions and drop the U.S. corporate tax rate closer to where it is. Wow, now that's wonderful news. But then he surprised everyone. As I tipped you off a recent Friday ago, and then that last Saturday, the president did it this last weekend, surprising everyone. Not in November, not in December, but last Saturday, months ahead of time, and before 4th stimulus has even passed, he went and got an international agreement from those G7 countries to sign on the dotted line about this now, not in November, December, which now raises the global minimum corporate tax rate to 15%. And anchors forced stimulus right to the finish line, now allowing the Democrats to remove provisions from forced stimulus that are no longer needed because they're in the international treaty. Wow. Now, that is wonderful, wonderful news that no one saw coming. Boy, oh boy, can we top that? We can. With the third part of our forced stimulus check update coming up in a second after this commercial break. I have big breaking news that's still coming up that's very exciting. But first, even better news is the volunteers. If you've had problems finding rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They embody the Purple Power spirit. This channel launched in April of last year with me getting people $25 million for EIDL loans to save their homes, their businesses, and their employees' homes because they weren't getting their EIDL loans approved. But in December of 2020, people were needing second stimulus, and that was not going out the door. So I got people $250,000 for rent. Well, the Purple Power, the volunteers embody the Purple Power spirit once again. These volunteers are on the community page. How do you find the community page? Open the description to this video. Go down the description until you find an emoji of a house. Click that emoji where it says community page, and it sends you over to the community page, news.lalate.com/community. On the community page is a picture of some kitty cats. They're not the volunteers, they're just kitty cats. Lower on the page are the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They can help you get that rent and utilities. Here's a little bit about them, and I will be back in 60 seconds with big exciting news from the Capitol Hill as Jerome Powell's about to speak. Fourth stimulus exciting news, fifth stimulus exciting news. Stay with me. I'll see you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LA. The coffee is brewing, the toast is toasting, and the butter is buttering. I'm here in your Tuesday blue. We got a blue set, we got blue me, we got blue background, we got blue skies, we got blue everywhere. How are ya? This is LA. Make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to miss a single video. I'm next back with you with Mornings Crypto right after the show at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, followed by Noontime LA, live on air, both shows at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fifth stimulus starting right now. It's important to understand third stimulus versus fourth stimulus versus fifth stimulus. During the commercial break, Matthew asked about kids' checks. That's third stimulus. You got to separate these stimulus packages. Third stimulus is the kids' check. That was passed in January. We're on to fourth stimulus. Now we're on to fifth stimulus. So separate them out. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall with no less than 3 major breaking details happening, and one happening right now. And the exciting details are the following. First, the president has dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration program to ensure your benefits checks go out on time, faster, and diligently. I love this. This is huge. In advance of fourth stimulus checks going out to you if you're on benefits, fifth stimulus checks going out to you when you're on benefits, and also benefits lifting under benefits reforms. He wants to reform the system to ensure that the administration is ramped up. That means you get checks on time. Trust me. Earlier this year, I had enough of those videos of Direct Express by Comerica is not sending my third stimulus check. And Direct Express by Comerica posted something on their website. Oh, no more of that. That would be gone. We would no longer hear about Direct Express by Comerica sending checks late. Everyone would get checks on time. Number 2. Fifth stimulus checks? Yes. So the 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying that they're going to be putting fifth stimulus checks into the fifth stimulus package as well. When? Fifth stimulus would likely be in January 2022. Why? Because fifth stimulus goes to a final vote in about October, November. It's very hard to send out a stimulus check in December. So I think what they're thinking is 4 stimulus checks would go all this year, 2020. One. And then fifth stimulus checks would be 2022, starting in January. Number 3. We saw this morning breaking news, and the breaking news again was economic news. The number producer price index, it's the sister or brother to the consumer price index number, which I detailed last Thursday. It gauges how much prices of goods go up. It went up. It's no surprise. Now, what Wall Street analysts are actually saying this morning shocked me, because you see me talk about the inflation rate over the last few weeks, and I said, well, maybe we go to 8%, 9%, 10%. And I talked about Jeremy Siegel saying maybe 20%. Boy, almost all Wall Street analysts this morning said, folks, we're at 4% now inflation, and we're heading to 10% in December. I was shocked. It was commonplace knowledge. It was commonplace knowledge. This is huge for your SSI reform, because I'm going to show you in a second why this is an issue. They're applying a benchmark, and the benchmark is inflation. The benchmark is applied in December. We're at 4% now, most analysts think, on the inflation rate, and we're going up. The inflation rate's going up. It's transitory. It's temporary. It's going up to a peak. They're thinking that peak is around the time at which they apply your benchmark in December, November, and then it's going to settle back down to something normal next year, like 2%. Well, let's go over that analysis right now. Fifth stimulus heats up by raising up your benefits a lifetime, one time, but also doing other items across the board. That fifth stimulus involves that SSI reform. Let's go over all the details. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply a new inflationary benchmark, remove the asset cap, then remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let me go over how that calculates out with the breaking news. First, they're going to raise your benefits up one time. This is SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, multiple benefits. Then they'll apply the benchmark in November, December. That's the benchmark they apply every year for next year. The new benchmark, inflation. Now, let's say that inflation rate is going up, as everyone says. Every month it's higher than the month before. You have to hope that the benchmark of inflation, or namely inflation, reaches that peak when they apply it in December. That December or November is that peak before it starts to go down. Why? Because your benefits always stay the same or step up. And once they apply the benchmark, you're set for life. Let me show you how this works. Let's say the inflation benchmark is 10% and it reaches that peak exactly when they apply it. Well, then they'll raise your benefits up next year 10%. But not just next year, lifetime. Because if the inflation rate drops down, your benefits don't drop down, they stay the same. If the inflation rate the year after that is 2%, then you'll be at plus 2, plus 10%. It's wonderful news. What else is happening right now? Jerome Powell will be testifying before the congressional hearings today and tomorrow. And most insiders think that he's going to continue the narrative, which is, I'm not changing anything. He's not going to say the inflation rates are going through the roof. He can't say that. He can't say that because it caused Wall Street to go in a tizzy. We all know the inflation rates are going up. But he rather support the economy with more support now than ease support in lieu of inflation. I'll explain about that more in a second when I get to fourth stimulus, back in a second. So first they're going to raise your benefits up, they're going to apply that benchmark. Then they're going to move the asset cap. That prevents you from having more than $3,000 in hand. That's important to go away just in time to get those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income cap that prevents you from working if you want to work. Now you'll be able to work and stay on benefits. And they'll remove the marriage penalty. Love is going to win. And viewers like Sandy and Rob will be able to marry and no longer fear the marriage penalty. And if you are married, you'll no longer be penalized. That's fifth stimulus. But it's so important to know what's in fifth, fourth, and third stimulus. As Matthew said during the commercial break, I thought fourth stimulus was this. No, that's third stimulus. It's important to consider becoming a member. If you're in the live chat and you see people with emojis of a hawk next to their name, they're members. They're sent daily a breakdown of everything that's in the third stimulus, the fourth stimulus, and the fifth stimulus, so they know. Why? Because it's thousands of dollars of money for you. In the third stimulus, there's tens of thousands of dollars that you are entitled to, but most of it is application-based. And unless you apply for it, you may not get it. That's number one. Number two, it's also important to know what money is yours and to keep them separated. So every day from the community page on YouTube, I send to the members a breakdown of everything that's in third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. Consider becoming a member at the links at the top of the chat and pinned comment. Which brings us back now to fourth stimulus. I have not one, two, but four things I want to go over in fourth stimulus. First, I want to go over routing times. Second, I want to go over personal message. Number three, I want to go over false narratives. And number four, I want to go over Purple Power Push and Jerome Powell testifying before congressional hearings today. First, a personal message. It's important to know that if you're new to this channel, this is not the Stimulus Psychic Network. And I am not Mr. Cleo. No one anywhere should try to be a stimulus psychic. I predict. I sense. What do you think? Do you guess? What do you think is going to happen? Stimulus Psychic Network, no. And you should not be a stimulus psychic either. It's important to understand what legislators do. Legislators legislate, which means they write something down, they give it to someone else, and someone else changes the number and gives it back to them, or changes the language. Here's an example. A House subcommittee could put monthly stimulus checks in there of 10 stimulus checks, send it over to the Senate, and say, no, we'll do 2 stimulus checks. Send it back to the House and say, okay, we're going to double the amount of the checks. Send it back to the Senate and say, no, we're going to reduce the checks in half. That's what legislators do. They make modifications. So things are fluid. It's not an opportunity for you to be a psychic. No one should be a psychic about anything because you're not a psychic, because you're not there. We have 2 emojis, not bill yet and not law yet, which is important for us to understand then the importance of the routing times. There's 9 steps to approve a bill by reconciliation. Steps 5, 7, and 8 are the most important. Let's go over them right now. The first half are procedural, second half are substantive. Step 1, the House subcommittee votes on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs into law the procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck is passed over the finish line. Time to do the substantive bill. And there is step 5. Yep, there is that step 5. The House subcommittee, marking up the language of the bill, as you heard early in this video, calls for a vote, the substantive bill. At that point, that House subcommittee could put monthly stimulus checks in there, or could choose not to. The House floor votes on the substantive bill on step 6. Then comes step 7 and 8. Step 7 and 8 is the 2-day votorama in the Senate. What is the votorama? The senators receive the House bill, and when they receive the House bill, they can amend it. 3 opportunities, 3 possibilities. 1, the House bill has no stimulus checks in there. The senators amend and add them in there. Possibility number 2, the House bill has stimulus checks in there, and the senators like it and leave it alone. Or step 3, the House bill has stimulus checks in there, and the senators don't like something about it, so they amend it. Step 4, the president signs it into law. There you go. That is the reconciliation process. Some viewers have asked me some questions about that in the last 24 hours. Let me answer some of those questions. 1, when will they start the voting process? The voting process has not started with a particular first step. Sometimes they do these steps and then stop and then start up. Sometimes they do all the steps together, that they just keep on voting. They do them very quickly in rapid fire. So we don't know why they want to do one thing or the other. Those are their opportunities. Next, some viewers have been asking me, when do we see this from the senators, or why the senators that? The votorama is a cloak and dagger event. They keep things quiet and secretive till the final vote. Why? Because they want to pass it. 2, they don't want to tip off their adversaries. Third, people have been asking me, How about the Democrats? So the Democrats are all aligned. Joe Manchin's on point. The president wants you to have a stimulus check. The Democrats in the Senate and the Democrats in the House want you to have a stimulus check. The print media, broadcast media, are all talking about the same letters which I cover on this channel day in, day out. The people who are not talking about stimulus checks are people not giving you stimulus checks. So GOP, not going to talk about it, and conservative media will never talk about stimulus checks. That brings us then to fake narrative. Fake narrative was actually pretty good with us yesterday. Why? Because we didn't have any of it. I was happy. So maybe it's gone. I don't know. What's fake narrative? It's problem creators. It's Mitt Romney. It is the protagonista. Whenever there's an opportunity for a bill to get right to the finish line, a lot of ancillary people come into out of the woodworks and try to use that legislation as an opportunity to advance themselves, to somehow book themselves on broadcast media. Why are they doing it? For three possible reasons. One, to get campaign donations for a next re-election campaign. Two, to get campaign donations to run for a higher office like president. Or number three, to get a book deal. They do these things to advance their political careers, not to get you anything. Problem creators, fall 2020, 1, 2, 3 times they did it. How many times they get you anything? 0. How many times they get themselves on broadcast news? A lot. So the protagonista and the problem creators and Mitt stayed relatively quiet yesterday. So maybe we're out of that. I hope we are. Which brings us finally to Purple Power Push and Jerome Powell. One of the best things I heard this morning about inflation, Jerome Powell's testimony before the House and the Senate this week, your stimulus and you, was the following from Jim Cramer. He said that no one at all worries about inflation for purposes of low-income people, because the issue for low-income people is they need assistance, they need to get out of the pandemic, they need jobs, they need stimulus. The only people, as Jim Cramer said, that are worried about inflation are rich people that drive rich cars who are worried their assets may be worth less in a few months. He said Jerome Powell's focus has been to ensure that everyone is back to normal, not just rich people. And so I love that. It's important for you to understand that everyone needs to rebound from this economy. And if you don't have a job, or if you have piling up debt from from 2020, you need stimulus. And the inflation spike, while it's transitory, temporary, will be going away. It doesn't have anything that negatively impacts you long term. What negatively impacts you long term is if a Congress doesn't give you stimulus, doesn't give you unemployment assistance. And I love that message. So Jerome Powell will be holding your back today, keeping your back, watching your back to ensure that stimulus is continually ramped out to you, because you're not recovered. We should not be worried about rich people and rich people's problems. And with that, it's important to push Purple Power. What's important for you to know, and this is the first time you're hearing this on Mornings LA, is that the push for stimulus this time is a little bit different. Why? Because legislators are sort of in a bubble, and they don't know how much you are hurting or how much you're not hurting. In 2020, everyone was hurting. Everyone knew everyone was hurting. Now in 2021, when businesses are opening, masks are being lifted, people are getting back to some type of normality, legislators may not know if you're hurting. That's why you need to push. Go on social media and hashtag Purple Power, hashtag MSC, tag your elected officials, call them up, contact them, tweet and share these videos on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram. Tag Democratic House members, Democratic senators. If you don't have any, tag some other states Democratic, because those are people who are trying to give you the money. They need to know why you need this. If they don't hear from you, they may think that perhaps you don't need it. It's important to understand that it's a little bit different than 2020, where people clearly needed it. Now, the push and the question may be, do people really need it? Have we heard from the electorate? Now it's your opportunity to push. If you don't use social media, use the old-fashioned, the telephone, that thing with the cord in the kitchen, with the thing, and they pick it up. It's like, hello, operator. Yeah, that old thing. Pick it up and call them. And talk to their staffers and say, this is my name, professional, keep it very professional. This is why we need stimulus. Make your message loud and clear. And with that, join me next on Mornings Crypto. It's coming up in 2 minutes from now. As the cryptocurrencies are downturning right now, is there an opportunity to buy? I'll have all the details coming up live on air, coming up right after this recording in 2 minutes. Then we go into noontime LA at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Perhaps there'll be new updates from Jerome Powell as his testimony is underway on the Capitol Hill. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you to subscribe. Don't miss a single video across the board. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and have a beautiful morning, and stay with Our Life for More.